Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new, welcome. My name is Jessica. I'm a first-time mom. My daughter's name is Charlotte. She is 12 months old. In today's video, I am going to be listing my top 10 baby names that I love but won't be using. So of course I have other baby names that I love more than these, but I'm not going to share those just yet because we might use them. Maybe down the road when we're done having kids, I will share those ones. I am going to start off with 5 girls' names and then move on to 5 boys' names. I have had a running list in my phone for, I can't even tell you how long. Every time I hear a name that I absolutely love, I write it down on my list. So I was able to select 5 girls and 5 boys that I know for sure we probably won't be using. I say probably just because if I can convince my husband on some of these names, then we just might, but most likely we won't be using these. So little backstory about Charlotte's name. I loved Charlotte from the beginning. It was one of my top 3 names. Took my husband a while to get on board just because he said he didn't like a girl when he was younger named Charlotte. Silly reason since he hasn't seen her in years. Eventually he did get on board with the name, so we ended up naming her Charlotte. Let's get into the first girl's name. The first girl's name that I absolutely love, and actually this was like my very top #1 for Charlotte, is Mia. Mia is such a sweet name. I've loved it. I think I first really heard the name watching Princess Diaries years ago, and I have loved it ever since. It is my ultimate favorite baby name. So my husband is Greek, and we decided not to use this name just because it means one in Greek. So it was important to us for our children to have an equivalent Greek name to any of the names that we choose. So because of all of that, we decided not to use it. The second contender for Charlotte before we officially chose Charlotte was Scarlet. So again, one of my top baby names. It's extremely similar to Charlotte. Actually, we're referring to her as Scarlet for a while, and then we found out that it didn't have a Greek equivalent. So again, that was something that was important to us. So we moved on and chose Charlotte. But I do absolutely love the name. I think it's beautiful. Another thing about that name that we didn't like is we didn't want people nicknaming her Scar, and we couldn't really think of another nickname that we liked better to try and steer people away from calling her Scar. I don't know, may seem like a silly reason, but it was something that we discussed and decided that was important to us. The third baby girl name that I am so in love with, and if I could just convince my husband to use it, we probably would in the future, is Sienna. I love this name. I think it's beautiful. I can't tell you where I heard this for the first time, but as soon as I heard it, I put it right on my list. I mentioned it to my husband a few weeks ago, and just a disclaimer, no, I am not pregnant with baby number 2, but I am talking about baby names all the time because I love names. Anyway, so he instantly said, nope, I don't want to name our child the name of a place. I guess Sienna is a place in Italy. I didn't even think about that when I heard it. I just think it's such a beautiful name, but yeah, probably won't be using it. The fourth baby girl's name that I absolutely love and have loved for a while is Willow. I think the first time I really heard Willow was when the singer Pink named her daughter Willow. It's such a beautiful name and I do really love it. However, I see it as a little girl's name. I can't picture a woman being named Willow, and I know that may sound silly, and no offense if any of you grown women's name is Willow. I think it's beautiful. Just for me, it was something about it. I couldn't picture a grown woman named Willow, if that makes sense. So even though I think it's a beautiful name, I don't see it fitting for our future children. And the last baby girl's name that I am in love with and have been for years is Ella. Now, Ella is such a sweet, darling name. It's way too popular now. And yes, a lot of these names are popular, and yes, Charlotte is popular, but Ella, in my opinion, has become overly popular. So I don't want my child having a really big chance of having another Ella in their class. May sound silly again, but for me, I hated having another Jessica in my class growing up because Jessica was an extremely popular name in the 90s. So I just want to steer away from the super, super popular names, if that makes sense. And when I say super, super popular, I mean top 5. Moving on to baby boys' names, I haven't really had a chance to discuss baby boys' names. So we found out really early that we were having a girl, so we didn't get a big chance to talk about baby boy names, and we actually do have our baby boy name for a future son if we are lucky enough to have one. However, I of course have had a lot of baby boy names just listed in my phone for years now, just from watching these YouTube videos and from hearing them. So I picked my top 5 that we probably won't use, and I know for a fact my husband does not like. The first one is Max. I think it is such a cute name, but again, similar to Willow, I just can't see the name for a grown man, if that makes sense. I think it's an adorable, cute little boy name. However, I don't see it for a grown man. I think Maxwell or Maximus is great for a grown man. However, I simply just like Max. I wouldn't use Maxwell, I wouldn't use Maximus, I would just use Max, and just something about it just seems too childish for me. Again, no offense if your kid's name is Max or if your name is Max, but just my personal opinion. The next name that I love but probably won't be using is Gideon. I think it is just such a powerful, strong, masculine name. I don't remember where I heard it, probably in a YouTube video similar to this. I really love the name. I would consider using it. However, my husband does not like it. The third name that I absolutely adore is Mateo. It is such a cute name. I think the first place I heard this name, not the first place, but where I really started paying attention to the name, is Jane the Virgin. Love that show. Mateo is just such a cute name. I can also see a grown man's name as Mateo. However, I just don't see it fitting our future child. The fourth name that I recently fell in love with, but I will not be using because my husband doesn't like it, and also because it is increasingly becoming super popular, is Cruz. It is such a cute name, and I don't remember where I first heard this name, but I love it, and I'm just so in love with it. And if we do decide to stick to the whole C theme for our future children, like naming all of them with C's, which I'm not sure that we're gonna do, but if we do, it would fit, and I love it. But again, hubby doesn't love it. It is becoming really popular, so we won't be using that most likely. And the last baby name that I'm going to be sharing today is Elliott. Elliott is such a sweet name. I've always loved it. I've always loved Eli as a short form. I just think it's so cute. Elliott is such a good name. However, there are names that I like better than Elliott that I would use before choosing Elliott, so I think that's my biggest reason for not using Elliott, but it is just such a gorgeous name. Those are the top 10 baby names that I love but won't be using. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and got some name ideas if that's what you were looking for. If you liked this video, please give it a big thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already, or if you're new, it really helps me out and I appreciate it so much. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye guys!